Shut Up, Let's Talk contains some rad but heavy language and adult themes and may not be suitable for audiences under 18. Viewer discretion is advised. What up? What's going on, everybody? Shut Up, Let's Talk. Hanging out tonight with Elliot of Room 108. Folks, tonight we're talking about the Astro World incident, folks. The Astro World incident. Travis Scott is going to think twice, probably very twice about the next time he utters the words, if there ain't and it ain't a mosh pit if there ain't no injuries. Because that is a lyric from Sicko Mode, is it not?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've listened to that album, but it sounds right.
I remember that being one of the lyrics, and you know, it's not that I want to make fun of the situation because there's nothing to make fun of. It's the reason why we're even talking about it tonight is because it's just a very complex situation. It's a complex situation. Really quick, Elliot, introduce yourself really quick, bro. Man, nice to meet you, but nice to have you on the show tonight. We met.
Yeah.
And I made a video for you guys, which was an awesome video. You killed it on the bass.
Oh, thank you, man. And you killed it on the video, man. That was a lot of fun.
Thanks, man. So sorry, introduce yourself. I fucking interrupted you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. So, how you doing, guys? My name's Elliot. I'm a musician. I'm also a journalism student currently at the University of Florida. I am currently a podcast host for The Alligator, which is one of the how do I say it? It's I think one of the not prestigious. I'm trying to find the right word, but it's a very
it's highly regarded.
For the student newspaper. And I also do a nerdy podcast called The Basic Nerd Experience that we've been doing. We're kind of on and off because of school, but we're trying to get back into that. I've got to know you, man, from doing that great video of doing Room 108 and documenting playing covers, some of our favorite colors with covers, not colors. Documenting our favorite covers.
Colorful covers, yeah.
And my dad was very colorful on the drums.
Oh man, he was killing it. He was killing it. Oh my god, you know, I show people that video every time, and you know, obviously you guys all killed it, but they're just like, man, he's really good on the drums.
Yeah, and it's just funny. There's times when he goes like, yeah, and there's times when he goes, yeah, I'm pretty decent on the drums, and Peter's like, no, you're more than that. And, you know, obviously he doesn't play the drums before that. He played it once in a while, but I mean, he played a lot in the '90s. Like, he used to play a lot in New York, and he used to play. He actually played at CBGB's a couple times. Actually,
yeah, you mentioned that to me a while. I think while we were hanging out in the control room. Really quick, Jamie, thank you so much for liking the stream. Good to see you, Jamie, an amazing Sims maker, house maker. Anyway,
oh, really?
Yeah, man. So CBGB, man, it was such a great time. He must have had out there because, you know, I've seen pictures and you know, performances and stuff at that place, and it just looks like such a great time.
Yeah.
So the Astro World,
I don't know when he played. I don't, because I know might have been not towards the tail end of when it was kind of going downhill, but I think it was towards like when it was kind of what's the word? It kind of was overstaying its welcome, I would say. Like, it wasn't really what it was supposed to be. I hate to say it, but it sounds like it was kind of like Churchill's. Do you remember Churchill's in not that I'm trying to bash Churchill's. I think Churchill's is a great venue. Like, I've played there a lot, but I don't know. I've heard that a lot of like people say that about the status of that, but I don't know. Like, I guess I'm trying to think of something similar to that. If that makes sense, but I don't know.
It is like a Churchill's thing. That makes sense.
Yeah, like I don't know, because like it was like, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that Churchill's is gonna, you know, go under. But yeah, I mean, I don't know much about CBGBs really, but no, it was just great to kind of to know that he played there, and
absolutely, yeah, man. That's prestigious, man.
Yeah.
And you're a great bass player, man. That was really nice to. I love your bass, by the way. I was looking at it in the video again. It's this nice pearlescent Oh, it's right here. Oh, look at that. It's got this beautiful pearlescent paint job on it. I was really checking that out while I was there. I was really, really digging. Ibanez base, right?
Yeah, I've been nested. You got that
Absolutely,
right.
absolutely, absolutely. Great base, great base. I love
It's
their.
funny. It was from Amazon. Really.
Hey, that's great though. I mean, Ibanez makes great stuff. I have maybe three, four of them actually. They're
Oh, really?
fantastic. Yeah, I love it. I love them, dude. I love them. Jamie says, "Glad to
Great.
be here. I jump in when I can. Good to have you, Jamie. Are you aware of the Travis Scott situation? Are you aware of what happened at his concert and stuff? I know it's a pretty big deal. Everybody's talking about it on the internet, but if you're into different styles of music, maybe it flies right over you because algorithms work that way. So real quick, man, do you want to? I want to dive into the topic pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and. You know what I mean? Because it's a very interesting thing to try to unpack. So unpack it for me from your perspective, because you're the guest. So I would love to hear it from, and then I'll dive
Yeah.
I'll dive in with you.
So because I did a lot of research on this, as a journalist major and as someone who's going into the media and someone who's a musician myself, it's very interesting to kind of study this because this is the kind of thing where knowing what I think it's important to see what you see first. Which do you see? Do you see Travis Scott's response to this? Do you see, you know, people being resuscitated or and the paramedics? Do you see like which angle do you really see about this? Because it's I meant more about the coverage rather. Like what's the first thing that really pops into your head? Because obviously um it's nothing positive obviously, and it's really jaw dropping really. Like the first thing I really saw was earlier in the day when there was that video of when a gate went down and all the people were running and rushing and like running on top of each other,
That's
going
the
past
only
security.
that's the only
And
video that I've seen, because the other videos I really don't want to watch, and I know it's stupid because like we're talking about it for a podcast, but at the same time like I really just don't want to hear people, because that's the type of shit that gives me nightmares. Like I really don't like hearing those kind of like horrific things. It's very like ugh.
and I've seen the ones that would probably give you nightmares, and
Yeah, I hate
it's
that
not
kind of
pretty.
stuff.
It's
So but
yeah,
anyway,
and some of the stuff, if you don't mind me going a little bit,
no, go for it,
of
but
this stuff,
talk about it,
it
please.
it's pretty like seeing one of the things that really caught my attention was someone carrying a body and crowd surfing it to the front to make sure that the person that a paramedic gets to make sure that the attention gets to its deserved. So but yeah, that was something that was like wow, this is because and this is something about like journalism reporting is like when you read something it for me at least, like when I read something I'm kind of like okay, this is what happened, this is like okay, here's what happened, XYZ. When I see it though, or I hear it, it's like
Yeah.
it's like I saw that like I saw that image. I saw how this just how Travis Scott really was not really aware of the situation and wasn't really intending to stop at all. He kept going for about 37 minutes according to the Houston Chronicle.
I heard about
And
that. And does he not have in-ear monitors? Of course he does. Like what?
yeah,
What are they telling him
and,
in those monitors? All right, just keep jumping. Just keep jumping around. Just
yeah,
keep
and
yelling.
I just there a lot of things went wrong that night. I believe that the promoters did not do a good job. Not the promoters. Uh, the the festival itself did a good job of training their
It
employees
was a
because
circus.
there was one employee who was on, I believe, I forgot it was MSNBC or the Today Show, where the person said they just saw how crazy it was and just left on the spot like I'm not doing this because they weren't trained properly about what would happen if this situation happened like this. And we're also in the middle of a really weird time of what's the word of jobs where it's really like for places of retail food or even music venues, like it's really hard to find those people and to not train people just in general. Like it's weird how like
But like,
the
where did they
simple,
hire these people? Is the problem? Like, what?
yeah, like or the trainers really. I just think that it's
And I heard there was not. It was understaffed in terms of
yeah,
security. You know, I heard.
and
Oh,
it just seems the kind of thing where it's if it's not regulated, it's gonna get crazy. Like if you go to like if I go to arena show, like if I go see like if I go to anything, like if I go to football stadium, like when I saw Metallica, for example,
nice,
I saw Metallica on my 18th birthday in at the Hard Rock Stadium, and it was
nice.
great, and it was a lot of fun. And talk about controlling the crowd. Like if you go see a metal show, mosh pits are a norm. It's something that is a part of the culture of metal, but there is also societal norms about it that we have to make sure that people are safe and it's okay to do that because I've been a part of mosh pits. I've also played in shows that have started mosh pits. As long as everyone is okay and as long as everyone is having fun and no one is being, no one is being unsafe, then, no harm, no foul. And, I personally haven't been a part, I've played a couple shows when we started a mosh pit, but everyone was having fun. And if someone and the common rule is if someone falls down, you help them back up. Like that Linkin Park video where someone said like they stopped the show and said, "Hey, everybody, like there's some people hurt. We got to make sure what's going on." And then there's like Chester was kind of like, "Hey, pick him up, pick him up." And it's like if someone falls down, what do you do? And then they reach the mic and
And
say,
they
"You
had
pick him
been,
up."
and apparently, and in that video, they were actually saying, "Hey, we know that we've been doing this. We know we've been doing this all night." Like I guess they had been telling the whole crowd to like chill out all night because, because they said that at some point during that concert video that you're talking about. Because I was looking at that clip because, ironically, that video was being shared around about a week or like maybe just a few days maybe before this whole incident even happened. Like that clip just happened to be making the rounds on the
Hmm.
internet. So it very odd coincidental
Yeah,
timing there.
and I've watched like there's a channel I watch called Loudwire, and they've had a video of it's like
Yes,
top 10 instances where like a band stops a show because there's like something going on.
it's a
And
bunch of
so
them.
there's I think the biggest thing about a band is recognizing your audience, recognizing the situation you're in. And that's for anything. That's just if you're having fun. Who do you see that is singing, who is singing your lyrics, who is having fun, who also is not having fun, and who is on their phone and who is not really being responsive. And sometimes it's, you know, you just go with it or you say no, I don't like the fact like the reason I bring that up is because I remember there was a time when David Draymond from Disturbed, someone was on their phone. This woman was on her phone the
Oh,
entire time, and he called her out. He's like, "Can I ask you something? Why are you on your phone the entire time? You paid money to be here, but you have not looked at us the entire time. What is the problem?" And so she got really insecure, and she's like, I don't know. She just flipped him off and say, "How dare you?" And then he's like, "No, don't tell me to do that. Like, you're like, how dare you? There's people who want to be where you're at, but they can't because either, they financially couldn't afford it, they're busy, or just, or whatever the case may be.
yep.
And, it's just like stuff like that. But the reason I bring that up is because um, I think it's being, again, I haven't had that much experience playing gigs, but we do have a responsibility of being socially aware.
Right.
We have a responsibility to not only entertain the audience, but to make sure that we provide an experience, but we make sure that we're all having fun at the same time. We need you as much as, like we need them as much as they need us. So we need to have
So
like a good relationship back and forth. And if, for example, like I can come up with so many examples, but Travis Scott didn't do that. I don't think he has a. I think he's. I'm kind of whatever on him. Like I was kind of like I liked a couple of his songs, but I wasn't never really impressed by his musicianship. Like to me, like I started to get back into rap. Like I'm not really impressed by him. Like he's kind of like to me how Drake is. Drake is they just kind of like I'm not really like thinking like wow these guys are really in depth about like it's like like I like
well,
Gambino or I like Tupac I like Biggie
absolutely,
uh
absolutely.
Method Man and stuff like that like that's or like Ice Cube or not Ice Cube well no I haven't listened to Ice T rather
They're both good.
um
They're both good. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
like
got
Travis Scott's music. I've heard it. I've heard and I downloaded Astro World. I listened through it at least and stuff, and it's got some like there's definitely some good songs in there. There's definitely some throwaways like every album. He's got a style. I like it. What he basically does like a psychedelic. He does like psychedelic. It's mosh pit psychedelic like hip hop. It's very cool. It is a really cool style. So I like it. The way he uses the auto tune is really good. I think he's a really dope artist. What we're talking
okay.
about tonight, though, is he's maybe a really
Yeah.
dope negligent artist.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah. Yeah.
negligent is the problem. You know what I mean? And that's the. I don't know, man. I look at this whole situation and it makes me sad because I look at people have been sharing other clips of him stopping the concert for and of course for the shoe. Everybody's been sharing the one where he stops the concert for the shoe, but then he did stop a concert because somebody else was like passed out once,
Yeah.
But that's the problem. If it happened once before for somebody who's passed out in the crowd, what the hell is going on this evening where there's 8 people that unfortunately pass away? Like that's how does that
Yeah.
happen? How does that happen?
And yeah, I'm pretty blown away that he just kept playing and he kept going. And the worst part is when he went to go hang out with Drake at
At
Dave
Dave
and
and
Buster's
Buster's.
afterwards. Like, did you know that?
I did. I really did.
Yeah.
And it's I was wondering when that was going to get brought up tonight because that part shocks me. Like and like I did a stream last night and we brought that up and the funny thing is like the guys on the stream with me they were like, "Oh, you're joking, right?" And I was like, "Wait a minute." I was like, is this one of those moments where you get caught up in like a onion post, you know what I mean? Like where
Yeah.
you so then I had to like double check it and no, it was confirmed. Yeah, it happened.
Yeah. No, and it's just unbelievable. Like if
He said he
and
had no
I
idea.
personally I personally like as a journalist, I try to stay very unbiased. Like I'm very about the news. I'm very about seeing all different sides of an angle of a story and seeing what it is. Because that's really the, is what's great reporting is really seeing um about it. But when it deals with um death, then it's a different story. That's when the humanity comes out, and when it's like, okay, this is not something that should have been. This obviously is something that should not have happened, but it's just. I think it's also one of those things when there's just a lot of. It's a situation where like there's a lot of people to be blamed for this. It's just obviously Travis Scott is one, but he's not all to blame. I don't think
No, 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 no.
he shares some of the blame, but obviously not stopping the concert. I think also just
Did you?
like
Sorry.
oh no, you're good. Like a good example I always say. So one of my favorite metal bands is Trivium. Have you heard of them?
Absolutely, of course.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
So
I didn't
for
mean to
those who
say.
don't
I didn't
know,
mean to be so flippant. Just they're a great band. Great band. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. No,
I was
and
like,
they're
of
being,
course I have. No, no, they're really good. They're really.
no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it just came out
But
funnier. Sorry.
I love Matt Heafy. He's the lead singer and the guitarist. He's
He's
just a great
gnarly.
guy. He's very compassionate. He's very well spoken. Like
Yeah.
he's never says anything really controversial. Like once in a while, like maybe something, but it won't be. It'll be like okay, like it's not really like drastic or anything like that. It's like and he's a great guy. And one of the great things is that there's a show where it was in that Loudwire video that I mentioned earlier. Like there's a time when they're playing a show and there's like people in the mosh pit, and then he's like, "Hey, stop, stop, stop! Everyone, stop, stop, stop! Okay, let's just let's create some space. Like I just want to make sure if someone I see someone's hurt. Okay, 2 people's hurt. Okay, everyone, please make some space. We have some people going down there. How's everyone doing? Is everyone okay? Okay, how you doing? Everything okay?" And and those people were they got hurt, and obviously they were. I think they were okay. I don't. If they would have been news about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he was great about identifying the problem, stopping the situation, and it's something that could have been easily fixed. Obviously, that show also was more like a House of Blues. Obviously, it was more intimate than a whole arena is. But at the same time, he still would have acted the same way if it was like a big Astro World concert. Like there's just it's just the fact that it was he just obviously didn't stop.
Sorry for the cat noises, guys.
Yeah. No, yeah, yeah.
I'm
But
sorry.
it yeah, I don't know. I just I really I think Travis Scott, like I don't
Mhm.
think he's like I don't think he's evil or anything like that, but I do think that the way he handled about the situation wasn't great. And I also don't think that he wasn't really genuine, really, with his apology. I really didn't.
Okay, sorry, not to cut you off at all, but to
Yeah.
bounce off of what you're about to say,
Yeah.
Leanna in the chat says he needs to explain himself. How could he not notice all the people yelling for help in the crowd? And then exactly the apology, he did explain himself with this apology video.
Right.
And it was the worst thing in the world, right? It was like the worst. So, Elliot, please tell us about this apology video because it is a circus.
Yeah, and I don't remember too much of it, but I remember it was kind of I remember the photo exactly. It was just like actually, you know what? Let me quickly rewatch it just to double check. But as we're talking, but
Well, in
I
short,
just remember.
go for it. But I'll vamp in the meantime. It is a it is a very poor attempt at an apology. Now, here's the strange thing. Everybody handles grief in a different way, right? Everybody that's a given, I suppose, right?
Right.
How does one handle grief in the way that Travis Scott handled that apology? Because it sounded like his mom just woke him up to get the groceries.
Yeah.
You know, it was
It
like,
does.
like it was just like I don't know. It was just
Yeah.
the strangest. Like it was like I said, maybe that's just his personality. Maybe that's the way he communicates. But it was
Yeah.
so weird. It was like, what are you doing? Anyway, is that the same
Yeah.
video you were talking about? The one that
Yeah.
you just saw?
This one right here, the one is like black and white, and it's like an
With the
Instagram story.
with the black and white filter. What is that all about?
Yeah.
Like, did you filtered the
You,
apology? What?
do you want? I was gonna say, do you maybe for those who haven't seen it, do you want to maybe stream that apology video?
I can. Give me 1 second. That's a
That way we
good.
can maybe
That's a
rewatch it
fantastic
for
idea.
everybody.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no, go for it. But I guess I can keep talking. But
Go for it. Go
yeah,
for it. So,
I don't know. Like,
as you were saying about the apology video, so you brought it up, and you were saying?
yeah, and like I read more about like when he made that post about it because I watched Anthony Fantano's reaction to it,
I saw
and
that.
Fantano made a good point where it's just kind of like the first time I think he said it, or one of the first times he documented it by writing a notepad, like on notes for iPhone or whatever. I don't know if he has Android or something, but then he puts it
Yeah.
on Instagram, and it's like you gotta do
Yeah.
better than that. Like you
Yes.
gotta. It's just people lost their lives. People lost brothers, sisters, mother. Like they lost a bunch of people.
Yeah. It's
Or actually
very,
no, it wasn't. I don't think it. I mean, not that I know, but it was seemed like a lot of young kids
very
who
poor
lost their
taste.
life. In fact, a 10-year-old who has severe like kidney brain damage, like something ridiculous, like something like berserk, and it's like what? And it's just
Oh.
yeah,
No, no,
yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm not laughing about the kid. Obviously, Leanne in the chat says people are talking about the satanic worship. Yeah, we'll get to that in a quick second. And there is a kid who is 10 years old who is he still in a coma? I heard, or did he make it? What's happening with that kid?
The last time I saw, I believe the video was yesterday or this morning. They said that he's still fighting it. So,
Okay.
but
All right, so
we'll see.
really quick, Elliot, give me. Well, this apology video is 3 minutes long, apparently. So, or maybe I'm just gonna play it for the people. I don't know if you can hear any of my desktop audio, but
I send out prayers
can you hear that,
Yeah,
Elliot? You heard that?
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So
to the
this is the apology video, folks.
ones that was lost last night. We're actually working right now to identify the families so we can help assist them through this tough time. My fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience. And anytime I can make out, anything that's going on, I just stop the show and, help them get the help they need, I could just never imagine the severity of the situation. We've been working closely with
Look at him
everyone
rubbing
to
his
try to
face.
get to the bottom of this. The city of Houston,
Yeah.
HPD, fire department, everyone to, help us figure this out. So if you have any information, please just contact your local authorities. Everybody continue to just keep your prayers. I mean, I'm honestly just devastated, and I could never imagine anything like this just happening. And I'm gonna do everything I can to keep you guys updated and just keep you guys informed on what's going on. Love you all.
Oh no. All right. We're not trying to get copyright striked here, okay? Relax. That might have been too much. I think it's like 3 seconds. Like copyright striking has become the new 3-second rule. I swear to God.
Yeah, well, I think you squeaked by with like 2.5 seconds.
Seriously,
so
jeez, that was like a carnival game. What I just played right there. That was amazing. I had to like.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anyway, that was the apology, folks. We're not about to listen to Way Too Sexy, especially no.
But
anyway, so sorry, really quick. Elliot. Angel in the chat says people died because no one gave a fuck about each other, and those kids do not care and haven't been to shows like that. It's silly. Yes. Leanna says, well, it was overcrowded. A bunch of people got in without tickets. Ooh. And you know what's crazy? Here's another weird thing that Travis Scott actually posted a tweet, I believe, or a post on one of the social medias, and he said that the show was sold out, but he said he posted he managed to finesse some more tickets, some more spots for people. So like it was apparently sold out, but he said he managed to get more. He managed to up the capacity? What?
Yeah.
So that is a thing. That is a thing. A very strange situation.
That is weird. And
yes.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what's a thought that really haunts me is, what if this was if this was like a lot of kids' first concerts? This is their first concert. That's a thought that really gets me. Because I don't know if it was, but
for the 9-year-old and stuff, it probably was, dude. Like, like that kid, like sometimes, like, first of all, I don't want to be one of those lamos, that has to be out there, and be like, why is a 9-year-old at a Travis Scott concert? But why is a 9-year-old at a Travis Scott concert? Why? Like, it's fine. That's fine. Music is music. I get it. I get it. And it's not like the kid took an Uber there. Okay, I get it. He was there with the parent. All right. He wasn't popping bottles at this Travis Scott event. No, he was there with his parent. It's a very crazy situation. The dad did what he could. It was wild. We're not trying to make light of it, but it's just ridiculous in nature, but like by proxy almost. It's ridiculous how this has gone on.
And
Angel says he was too young.
There needs to be, obviously there should be.
Sorry, go ahead, brother.
Oh, sorry, I had a little internet issue for a quick second. What did Angel say again?
Angel was saying that it definitely was, and he said the kid's mom must have been so worried. Now she's traumatized. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, make the font on this thing bigger. I'm like struggling to read this. Yes, he was too young. He is too young, bro. Here's the thing, man. Like, so the children, the people. Did anybody hear about the person walking around with the syringe? Did anybody hear about this?
Oh, I did hear about that. Yeah.
So there was a person
that was like just starting to like.
There was a person walking around with a syringe injecting people. And here's the odd thing: if this was just like some hearsay, it'd be one thing. But that actually came from one of the security workers from the event, who said that he was almost stabbed by this, this, which is like some Arkham City type situation. It's just really ridiculous, to be quite honest with you. It's like, what the hell is going on there? It's the type of shit that makes you not want to that makes you not want to go anywhere, dude. I'm like, it's weird. These type of events happen, and then you see something launch like the Facebook metaverse type of stuff, and you're just like, oh, what are they doing? What's happening? Like the tinfoil hats start coming out.
Yeah,
tinfoil hats start
the
popping out.
tinfoil hat. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Oh
that and
yeah. Angel says what? With a bunch of question marks and things. Yeah, absolutely, bro. Like there was somebody like some weird scarecrow Freddy Krueger figure. Apparently, I don't know. Some person. Apparently, it was either one person or it was 2 to 3 people. They're thinking from what I heard of it. I wasn't there. Thank God. And
but
yeah, that they were stabbing people with some unknown stuff that was tripping them out and making them pass out. I don't know, man. That
I
sounds like
just
a horrific.
yeah, that's the thing. Like I gotta pay attention to see about the syringe because that's a story in itself as well. Like there's so many stories that happen in just this thing alone. Like the syringe thing, the like how troubled it was for the paramedics to get to where the people needed to go. People could barely move. Like they're just like they just sway with them. They have like they can't move a muscle in their body. Like there's just it's just so many things and
What was
it's
the official capacity? Do you know, man? 40K? 40,000 people?
Maybe for an arena, but I don't know about a festival like that because I know usually like stuff like festivals like Rock am Ring like in I think that's in Germany I want to say or those things those are like usually they fill up like 50, 60,000 even more.
Yeah.
But this thing I would not be surprised if this had like 30 to 40,000 and it
Oh wow, Leanna in the chat told us 50,000 people.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's a
That's
lot of people.
that's a lot of people. That's way too many people.
She
I mean,
says,
I mean, I would love to play in front of 50,000 people, but that there's that risk of like, ooh, like, what if people don't help each other? Oh,
well,
this brings up to another thing.
yes,
The kids like tripping on each other. People are like on top of each other for no reason. I mean, they're
that's
like
crazy.
the image of like people like a lot of kids especially like who are younger than me like I'm 22 years old and so like when they're like I'm imagining a lot of these kids are from like ages I'm ballparking it like from 14 to 19 have I don't even remember exactly all the people but from what I saw it was a very young group of people.
Anybody with a Fortnite account, basically.
Yeah.
God damn.
But yeah, pretty much. And I hated the fact that people ran on top of each other and no one helped each other up. I hated that. That was just I'm not trying to sound over dramatic, but I was really disgusted. Like, come on, help each other up. It's a concert.
Who tramples on people though? That's so weird.
Yeah,
Who
like
does that? I thought these people cared about their shoes.
Yeah, I guess not. I guess not after.
I don't mean to
this,
keep
and-
putting jokes in there, folks, but it's so ridiculous, man. Like it's to be quite honest with you, like it's really ridiculous to me, isn't it? Like come on, man. Like I just think about it, like I think about it like in the metal world, man. Like and don't get me wrong, a lot of people say like I've seen the posts about people saying, hey, this happens at metal shows all the time. No, let me rewind. A lot of people say it's happened at metal shows before. It's happened, yeah. It's happened. But sure, it does, but it's not like that's normal at all. Okay, like even if one person died, do you think that would not be like on the news or like be in some crazy sort of like? No, man. Like that doesn't just happen. Okay, like people like that to me. Like people that say that these type of things just happen, you're like really devaluing life, in my opinion. Like things don't just happen like that.
No, it's a rarity. Like, but there's, obviously
shouldn't.
this is not the first time it's happened before. There was that infamous, the Who concert that happened. I forgot what year it was, but that was pretty bad. Like, it was kind of like people were.
Woodstock '99, right?
Was it that one?
No, it wasn't the same one probably, but that one was another bad one.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that one. Yeah, there was. Yeah, and. Yeah, and it's like one of those situations where it's really like obviously festivals are not going away. They're gonna keep on going because people love music. But I I think it also depends on where you go and like who you see. Because if I go see, for example, if I go see, let me think. I'm trying to think. If I go see, give me an artist. I'm trying to think. I can't think.
Like
of
a big
anyone.
artist, like a Bon Jovi. Let's see.
Bon Jovi. There you go. I'm not gonna. I'm not expecting like people to mosh pit to like Bon Jovi. I'm not expecting people are probably gonna be
Sorry.
drunk and singing like
I forgot to associate it with a mosh pit. Thinking about a mosh pit at a Bon Jovi show is kind of killing me right now.
well, they're living on a prayer if they are.
Right? Oh my god, can you imagine? Oh my
Dude,
god, Dead or Alive breaks out and all of a sudden the pit just opens up. That 12-string acoustic shows up and it's like
because yeah, and then yeah, oh man, and then,
okay,
or they
all
do
right.
like a you give love a bad name, but they do like a wall of death when they come together, and yeah, but
That's
that
what she
brings me
said.
another
Sorry.
example.
Sorry.
That brings me another example. Like I watched,
Sorry.
the band Gojira.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, they did one of my favorite song. Well, my favorite song from them was "Flying Whales." And there's that show I think back. I forgot what festival it was. I think it was a European festival. And they're like, "We want a wall of death. Like everybody, please step back. Everybody, like like they're very observant. And then they're making jokes like, "There's a guy dressed as Banana. Like, hey, Banana, you got to get out of here, bro. Like you're getting in the way of this. Like there's like stuff like that and making jokes. But he's like, I want everyone to go on go. And there's an intro. Just make sure just go for it. And but if people went for it, and if people fell, people picked them back up. Like it's just it's just the
That's
metal
just
community
etiquette.
is very there's a camaraderie. Like you're each other's family for the night. Like everyone is there to have a good time. There is always that one. To quote Corey Taylor in an interview, he said, "There's always that one dick in the pit. There's always that one asshole. Sometimes, once in a while, just
Gets carried
acts
away.
too aggressive too much. But usually that person is like either security takes care of that person or someone's like, all right, you got to stop. And then, then we'll go from there.
It
So
gets
like
dealt
rarely
with.
is there a fight really even. Like when I think about it. I mean there probably is at every show. There's always like arguing going on, but like I don't know, just something that drastic, like it never really happens that much. It has to like it's just when there's like a lack of communication and like I think it's just the culture of that perform just the vibe really like a vibe
What do
to
you
see how it is because I could tell that concert people were not looking out for each other. People were just there. It was like a gluttony thing. I'm here to really enjoy this, and this is for me. Not that they can't enjoy music, but but seeing how crazy it was and how people are on top of each other, like not really caring about like when the kids are not really picking up when kids are not picking or when kids are falling down and not helping each other up.
people dancing on the ambulance? Did you hear about that?
No, oh, I forgot about that. That's ridiculous. Like that's ridiculous. That
Dancing on the ambulance, like it sounds. Yes, it sounds very lyrical and rhythmic, but that's not a good idea, folks. You don't dance on the ambulance.
no. And
You don't
then
do it. You
and
don't do
then
it.
what happens if you fall over from the ambulance and they got to pick you up and now you're another like
It's a
you're
bad
another thing that they're
idea.
worried about.
It's a bad look altogether, folks. Why and how do these type of things happen? Like, I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand, folks. Like,
Yeah.
it's. Did they think it was a prop, like for the show? Like, why would people like what? It's not like Ozzy Osbourne and the biting the heads off the bats. Like, you don't
Oh
dance
yeah.
on the ambulance, folks. I don't understand what they thought. Leanna says, well, you're supposed to go along with the crowd in that situation, but instead people were pushing because there was no space, which made people fall.
Yeah.
Makes complete sense. I mean, there's just pure chaos and just, you know. I mean, come on, folks. Like, we saw The Lion King. The stampedes are no joke, okay? Stampedes
No,
don't play,
cool.
bro. They don't play, man. Like that was the craziest, that was a crazy scene as a kid. Like,
Yeah.
that was. I don't even know. I don't even know. Even Jurassic Park. You've seen Jurassic Park. You see that raptor stampede. You're just where they can
Yeah.
hide behind that thing and they're just like jumping over them. Like
There's
it's not
and
good. It's not good.
yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And so when you're all in one direction and can't go back, it's like where are you going? And it's I've there's been times like I saw a Five Finger Death Punch and um there was a time where everyone was really with the music that I couldn't move. So like it was like a ballad. So I literally was doing this the entire time because
Oh
I
wow.
couldn't. I had like, I had guys who look like they can like they could beat me up by just sitting on me because they're like The Rock or something like that. But I can't move, so it's just like I got to go with it. And I don't like that. Like I don't like being moved that I don't want to be moved. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not a fun feeling, but
Yeah, it's
but let
very.
me. I have a question for you actually.
Oh yeah, of course.
I know this situation is kind of soon. You mentioned that you like listening to Travis Scott's music. Is this a situation where you're like, you know what, I'm not gonna listen to more Travis Scott anymore. That's it for me. Or do you think in this situation you separate the art from the artist?
No, rarely do I do that, to be honest. Like very rarely. Like a lot of the time, I'll just have the benefit of the doubt and hope that somebody's really cool. But if I find out that you're a fucking idiot, yeah, excuse the, it just gets so
Yeah.
tough. It gets so tough to kind of really keep up with somebody. Like, and that's the problem. Like the thing with Travis, it's not like listen to Travis Scott all the time. Out of the Astro World album itself, honestly, I think I saved 3 songs out of the entire album on the playlist. So
Yeah.
a lot of people liked it. It was fine. It was fine. Um, it was a good album, but sorry, it was a fine album, but to some people, but to me, I don't. Now knowing that he's that dumb and kind of like, I don't know, man. Like I said, it's very odd. I'm sure he has the whole world crashing down on him at some point right now. So I'm sure he's going through things that I could never and don't ever want to imagine. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Just
No.
thinking about it doesn't make me want to, like, I don't think I'm gonna boycott his music. Like, I'm very rarely do I even, save his songs in my playlist that much anyway. So I'm not missing
Yeah.
out really. I'm not missing out.
Okay. Okay.
What about you? I mean,
Because
so you said you're not really, too familiar with his stuff anyway, right?
yeah, like I like Highest in the Room. I
Mm,
thought that was a good song, and I like Sicko Mode and like a couple other ones. And no, they sounded good. Like, but it sounded good for what it was. And maybe there's like lyrics in there that I haven't really paid attention to that I should have. But um, yeah, I'm not really looking to revisit his music. And I had a really good conversation with a good friend of mine like a month or two ago. We were talking about like the Me Too movement, and we talked about like how like would you still we talked about like Bill Cosby versus like Matt Lauer, and like we can't like we talked about how like Matt Lauer, we grew up with him because he's the Today Show host back in the day.
right.
And I also have a personal connection to that show because my family and I have actually been on that show twice.
Whoa.
Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll get that to in a second. It's a really fun story, but um, and but he turned out he was saying very sexual explicit things in the workplace and was saying things should not have been saying, and he was kind of like being forced. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it wasn't like it was just physical, like to the degree of like sexual harassment area.
Sure. Very
But
forward. Very
it's the
forward.
kind of thing where it's like when you see that, it's like, oh, you don't want to see that person anymore because it's like because you know what happened. But then with Bill Cosby, it was a weird thing because it's like we didn't know about it. I mean, it's like this thing we didn't know what happened. It's just now we reacted to what's happened. But I guess the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think it might be different the person because Matt Lauer is someone who you just watch the news, you watch about what's going on in the present moment, and then that's it. And then rarely you revisit something because it's in the past or something. So it's kind of like I guess like I don't want to see that guy. That guy's annoying. But then it's like Bill Cosby is different because he's done, he did the Electric Company. He did like Fat Albert. He did like all those good shows. The Cosby Show. He was considered one of the best stand-up comics of all time. And then this happened, and some people are different. Like Jerry Seinfeld said, I still listen to this stuff. It's not, I didn't know about it. It's not like he was joking. Like I don't remember what he said, but he was like, it's not my fault. Like it's just like you're allowed to watch something if you don't like it. But then I think maybe that's up to the viewer if they were really disappointed by someone. And yeah, it's like separating. Like do you separate? I guess that's based on someone's perception of it, like about it,
Right.
yeah, like I personally can't listen to Bill Cosby work because it breaks my heart because I grew up with the Electric Company and stuff like that, and hearing about this, it's like you know, I guess it really maybe depends on the person and what they did, but then to be like, okay, like whatever, like Louis C.K. for example, like some people might go, they might go, I don't, you know what, I don't want to listen to it more because of what happened, or it might be the complete opposite and go, you know what, I felt like he was like unfairly treated, he wasn't really that big. He was weirdo, but he wasn't been that thing. So and those are examples of like the gray area cases.
Yeah,
So
for
it's kind
sure.
of like
For
I
sure.
kind of see that with Travis Scott. I know I went a little TED talk there for a second, but I feel like
No, no,
with
no.
like Louis in the Travis, like I'm trying to compare the two, but I feel like in this kind of situation, it's kind of gray area. Like it's people are still gonna go. I don't want to listen to his music anymore because of what happened. Because also the album attributes to the show that happened,
Right.
or some people might just go, you know what? It's just the music. I just, it sucks, but it's just that situation, whatever that person may feel, and then they keep listening to music. So, it's just I don't know. I'm curious because
It's understandable. Like it is a fascinating aspect of art. The detaching your love of somebody's art. Because you find out something about them. So I'm all the way with you on that one. Leanna in the chat says I'm not defending him. He definitely effed up, but he's paying for the funeral costs and much more, and he's got a lot left to do. And
oh, okay.
she says I like his music, and she says she can't listen to R. Kelly though,
Yeah, yeah,
which is
that's a good
understandable.
point.
Which is understandable.
Yeah,
Which is totally understandable. I mean, I'm not a, sometimes like the songs come up like on a random like 2000s playlist or something like that, and I'm
right.
like, oh, always gotta skip Ignition now. Always gotta skip Ignition remix. But
Yeah, and you know what's funny is like there's another song like you seen the movie Joker, right?
no, I haven't. I miss out on most movies, unfortunately. Which
Okay.
maybe you can help me get into the movie world because I know you're all about them.
Yeah, dude, I'm down if after we talk about Astro, I'm down to talk about movies. And no, and I recommend Joker. Joker is an amazing film. It really it's kind of a film we need right now because it talks
Mm.
about mental health and about just how people are alone, and I think there's just a lot of pressure or just depression from just society in general. But anyway, but the reason it's a good movie. I was gonna go into another conversation, but I gotta get back to the moment. With there's a song in there that they use in a critical scene when he becomes a Joker, and it's dun 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 dun. Hey, the Hey song. What's that one called?
I have no idea.
Um
But I was
give me a
liking,
second.
I was digging that. It was dope.
Yeah, no, and it's like a class. Like everyone hears it in a song. What's it called? Uh, hey, but sorry, I'm trying to find the
So this is the Joker,
uh
the Joaquin Phoenix one.
yeah.
He's great. I saw half of the movie Her, and it was really good.
Oh, dude, isn't that a good movie?
Yeah, I didn't get to finish. I gotta finish it up, but it was really good. We had to leave in the middle of the movie, but it was really good. It was really good.
Yeah. It has a sad. It's sad, but it's great. It's Joaquin
Yeah.
Phoenix is one of the actors,
For
and
for anybody that does not know about the movie Her, that's where he falls in love with his computer. Basically, it's kind of like a new version of Siri
yeah,
that's like extra intelligent, voiced by Scarlett Johansson,
that's
and
right.
he ends up falling in love with this AI technology. It's a very fascinating movie about loneliness and what communication really means, and very fascinating stuff,
Yeah,
and about people's love for
especially
technology.
especially about men too, because I think now more and more, I think it's I think there's kind of more of an awareness of how um men's mental health really is. I think is something that is a topic that I think is really not underappreciated, but it is not really being talked about most. And I think it's something that's like you hear a lot of more stuff about like certain stuff in the news. Sometimes it's similar topics, but I think this is something that I'm surprised hasn't been brought up like sooner, like stuff like that. And I think films like Her and Joker are great because it really kind of I'm not because obviously two are two like different movies because one's a killer and the other guy is just a lonely person just looking to for a relationship, and it just really shows how I think it's to for someone to really start expressing themselves and how do
Yeah,
they do that?
Well, I
I
think the
think.
problem with that is that a lot of the movies that have covered those kind of topics in the past, they always try to do it in some sort of like metaphorical way, or they always try to do it
Okay.
into probably like if you look at like an Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind type
Oh yeah,
movie,
with Jim Carrey and Kate
yeah,
Winslet.
or one of those, or many other movies, they always try to make it like symbolic. Like you look at the Donnie Darko, at that time
Yeah.
from back in the day. Uh, and other films like that, I guess. I'm not a movie buff whatsoever. But
Right.
how do you call it? The mental health thing. They do it in these weird metaphorical ways, which gets a little hard to keep up with sometimes. Leanna says,
Yeah.
great movie. Which movie is that one? Donnie Dark. Which one is she talking about? Oh, and she put a popcorn emoji. That makes me want popcorn right away. I love popcorn. Movie theater popcorn is one of my favorite things
Yes.
ever.
Let's
Yeah, there's something
let's
about that.
let's take it away from Travis Scott. Like the movie. Like going. Isn't
Yeah.
it going
Okay.
to movies?
I think we exhausted the dicko mode topic. Sorry.
The Dicko mode. Wow, that's good.
I'm sorry.
That's a good one.
I'm sorry. Anyway, do you have any final thoughts on that topic?
Yeah. I just want to say that that I I think Travis Scott is handling it well now that just knowing that he's paying for the funeral costs, and go he should go out of his way and apologize and say what can I do to help as he's about to do. So he is doing the right thing by doing that. This is definitely going to hurt his career, I think. I think he'll still have his fan base, but I think it's it's going to change soon. And I think it's going to be Drake. I think is getting some hate right now because that situation and all that stuff. Plus, also he's just Drake, and he always draws up controversy. But depending on how you look at it, but yeah, I think my final thought is that I think okay. Actually, I'm glad I brought this up. One of the things I really became aware that I feel like I want to do more, and I think maybe people might help the situation more. Maybe is I think more people being like CPR trained, maybe like
Yeah.
knowing at the ready that there's not a lot of people around me, security, no one's helping out. Okay, maybe I can just help out, and that's not, and that's no one's fault. I just think that, and like I never thought of that, but it would be great if someone were comfortable to be like, you know what, I need to say this person, even if it's just I'm not a nurse, I'm not someone there, but I
Well,
wonder like what's the best.
Leanna in the chat, who I've been referring to all night, she's a
Yeah.
nurse. She's actually a
Oh,
nurse.
there you go, there you
So,
go.
so ironically, yeah,
Uh,
she and excuse me, not to cut you off at all, but speaking of what you just brought up, not being a nurse, there were people in the concert that were ICU nurses and things, and
right.
a lot of them were saying that everybody on staff was. And the people that were on staff didn't know what the hell they were doing. They didn't know how to check pulses. They were doing CPR on people that already had pulses and all sorts of other weird stuff that like, you know, just things that were like, if you're in that field, you're just like, what the hell is going on here? Like, who hired you? Like, whose nephew are you that got a job as a as a security or whatever here, as an EMT here? I don't know. Anyway, sorry, man. I interrupted you in the middle of your final thought there, but you were saying that you're
No,
not a
no, and
nurse. You're not a nurse, but yeah.
yeah, and I think it'd be kind of just to know, like, in that situation, like, just maybe, just to know it in general, because the situation, like, hey, you know what's going on, like, it could really save a life. It could really go a long way if it's just checking a pulse, what to do. Like, I just know this or the Heimlich, really. Like, I should know more about it. And that
Heimlich
was
is a
just the
good one.
thought I had of, like, am I in that situation? Like, you know, yeah, and, and I think that it's, yeah, I really think that, yeah, I'm really saddened that,
Yeah,
um, that this happened, and it didn't have to. And sometimes
it
people
didn't
faint.
have to. You're
It
right,
happens.
man. You're right.
Yeah, it happens, and I'm just really sad, and it breaks my heart hearing this, and it's again after we just we're the pandemic is still going on, but just again it's just that happening, and then this kind of thing happening, and just trying to people because now people are trying to get more comfortable about going out and trying to get back to reality, but then it's like not that because I think depending on the state, like we're in Florida, everything's pretty much like back to normal. But
Hmm.
obviously it's different in places like New York because
Yeah,
it's a lot
yeah,
more. It's just depending on the state. But
that's true.
but But one of the things that some people are just excited to go back and whatever. But that's another thing too. Like, who's first concert? Like, it's like imagine like your first concert going back from COVID, and then you attend that. It's like, oh, crap. Like,
Wow, man.
it's just like little stuff like that that like builds the tension of that. But that builds that. But that's I know I give little TED talks all the time. But what about you, man? What's your final thought on it?
Well, final thought on that. Final thought on the that topic is that basically, I was telling you earlier, a few days ago when we were talking about it when we were DMing each other, the reason how this episode kind of came to be, and I was saying that the mosh pit for us, we come from a rock metal background, I suppose, right? The mosh pit is a very sacred thing. It's almost a feature of the concert. Right, it's almost something that you look out for. It's always in the corner of your eye. You're always wondering where it is, how far away it is from you. It's a very interesting. It's very almost like a spiritual thing that almost happens. It's like this pit that just exists in this room, and it's like this big hockey puck that just moves its way around this arena, and we do our best to respect that. The people that try to normalize this kind of stuff and say these kind of things happen, no, they don't, folks. People get punched, people get pushed, people get, those type of things happen. Fights break out, people get beer spilled on them. Those type of things happen. People don't get crushed. And don't get me wrong, not all metal concerts are 50,000 deep. Okay.
Yeah.
So we understand, but you know what? There's plenty of metal festivals that happen every year. There's plenty of metal. Actually, no. There's plenty of metal festivals that happen every month besides every year. They happen all the time. And these type of things don't occur at these kind of events where the mosh pit is just a regular thing, where, like I said, we have things. If you're a fan of the band Lamb of God, you're aware of, and you mentioned it earlier, you're aware of the Wall of Death. And that's...
I saw Lamb of God.
Oh, yeah,
person.
They're awesome. They're awesome. Yeah, I've seen them as well. They were great. They were great. I didn't have a front row seat. I wasn't in the pit or anything like that, but I was in a little boothy thing.
Did you see when they were with Slayer?
No, I saw them with Opeth and Megadeth. It was really cool.
Ooh.
It was.
Was
really
it the
cool.
most recent? Is that the most recent tour?
No, this was in 2006, I believe.
Oh wow! And it's funny. I think they just did a tour with Opeth, Megadeth, and Lamb of God. It was funny. I think so. I could be wrong. Maybe there's like one. Maybe Opeth wasn't in there, but
it was gnarly. It was called Gigantour. It was the name of the tour.
Gigantour.
It was great.
And the funny thing was, I went to a festival called the Fest, and I was covering it for the Alligator, and it was like ska and punk, and mostly.
That's cool. How was that?
And it was great, dude. I was able to just be able to like take pictures in front of the musicians, and because I had the media pass, it was a nice experience. Like
ska pits are cool because they're constantly. It's a very whirlpooly environment because they do like the little school of fish thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like when like I got some footage of them doing when there was a ska band going on. Everyone was going to circle and kind of like dance and everyone was to it, and that happened. And then I saw like another mosh pit, but no one was really aggressive. Some people go way too hard. I think also in the mosh pit, but
yes.
everyone like my friend Javi, him and I. We had an episode where we talked about we saw Slayer, then we went to Universal Studios the next day.
Sweet.
And we know this man kept getting put down like 5 times. Like it rained earlier and it was just muddy, so he kept falling on the ground and everything. Like it was so bad that his pants changed a different color. It was that bad.
That happened to me once.
And he kept falling down, but like I helped him back up. Like let's go. He's like okay, and then like he fell down, and then you get back up, and and then it's you get used to it, and
it's a good time.
Weird at first, but back to the point about ska and punk,
Leanna's asking in the chat, it was Streetlight there for the festival that you were at.
Oh,
Streetlight Manifesto.
That I think so. Let me double check.
They're fantastic. They're like one of the top ska bands out there. So they might have been probably. They're really good. But
what was it? Streetlight.
Streetlight Manifesto.
Okay, let me see, because that name really sounds familiar.
They're very dope. They're very dope. So about this, so I sorry, man, really quick. I was going on those final thoughts about this thing, so we can zip up this bad boy. final thoughts on this. The mosh pit is sacred, folks. You got to respect it. Everybody needs to be on the same page here. A lot of the concert goers at this event, I mean, it's 50,000 people. I don't understand what the mass hysteria is all about. I don't understand how you get into a mindset where you're trampling people. I understand these people are also on some wild drugs. You know, we have to really take that into consideration. You know, it's not like everybody here is drinking water and, you know, eating fruit in the crowd, okay? That's really not how it's going, okay? A lot of people here are on drugs. There are a lot of people are already dehydrated on top of, you know, this whole mass hysteria. If there's a stampede going, adrenaline levels are rising. All right. People get asphyxiated quicker. You know, there's a lot of, you know, different chain reaction type of things that we have to take into consideration. So that's, you know, that's my thing on it. So I'm not making excuses for anything. What happened was completely sad. It shouldn't have happened. It is a awareness factor that needs to rise in people. If you're at an event, if you're at a festival, you need to do your best to keep an eye out, see where the security's at, make sure it's adequate amount. Make sure you need to raise your standards as a consumer for if you like to go to concerts, because you need to be able to make sure that you're safe enough to be taken care of at these events. Okay, so I think that's my final thought on there, and that's what I would say is just be more aware. If you like to go to concerts, think about where you are, and are they doing anything for you? Was your ticket actually worth it or not?
I think that like the best word about like the theme I think of this story is accountability. I feel about this, and it's yeah. I think it's just that, and it kind of is open minded because it can deal with Travis Scott, it can deal with the people at the festival, like who are in the situation, and you know how those kids trampled all over each other just to just to go to front row. Or I don't know exactly why they did that, but to do something like that, it's like, you know, maybe I shouldn't be doing that, and yeah, it's.
You know, Travis,
you got to be careful, and you know.
And damn, I keep on saying we're gonna close up this topic, but there's and then also this happened, and then also that happened.
Right? Yeah,
it's ridiculous. He also got arrested a few years ago for telling the crowd to jump the barricades because he threatened the safety of everybody for at an event for doing that. So it's not like he hasn't. Yeah. It's not like he's never almost done these kind of things before. But anyway, folks, that's enough of the Travis Scott topic. I think we're at an hour and 2 minutes already, so we definitely ran through that topic, which is very. We dove in, folks. Really quick, man. So, I do got to head out kind of soon, but I do want to cover another 10, 15 minutes if we can. And I really want to talk about the movies, man. So, yeah, please talk to me about the movies, because the movies is something, man. And when I say the movies, folks, I'm talking about the movie theater. I would really like to dive into this topic with you, because you're somebody that I can tell. I don't know you that well, but from our few interactions, I know that you are a movie fanatic, and you love Spider-Man. I know that's one of your favorites, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And tell me a little bit about
Tobey Maguire all the way.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit about what movies mean to you. And is it a Spider-Man thing? Is that where you get the journalist thing from, or is there just a big coincidence?
No, both. It was really Eddie Brock, who's Venom, that really made me want to become a journalist.
Nice.
And definitely Peter Parker definitely started that, because it's.
More of a photographer, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of I love I see a lot of myself in him, and no, it's a great character, and just it's great that he's Spider-Man, and then he's a photographer, and he's a scientist. It's really cool. So, but then Eddie Brock Venom was kind of what made me want to become a journalist. Before they made crappy sequels, Let There Be Carnage. Anyway, but
was it a good movie? Oh,
okay. I guess to start with movie. What was your question? I'm sorry.
Sorry. Well, just tell me a little bit about movie theaters and what movies mean to you, man, in general. Because I know you're a big fan of movies since you were a kid. What's going on? What's going on, Dana, in the chat? How you doing tonight, bro? He says, "Sup, y'all. Toby is and I think he meant to say probably the GOAT or something."
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah, Tobey Maguire is.
Oh, he says Toby is the OG.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I hope that the new Spider-Man movie has Tobey Maguire. I know there's like weird confirmations that it is, but I don't know. I want to see it till I believe it. So
I'm with you. I'm
yeah,
with you on that one.
but
Well, so tell me a little bit about going to the. What was the first movie that you remember seeing that really captivated you as a child? That really made you realize that movies were your preferred choice of media? Because to me, video games became that for me. So tell me how movies really became that. That
it's it scares the shit out of me, but it also makes me appreciate life at the same time.
movies? Wow, tell me about that.
So, if I may, there's a lot of movies that have really impacted me in a way because I'm really about escapism. I'm really about how sometimes, especially during quarantine, we needed a lot of that, unfortunately. Um, I think it's important to sometimes we need a break from reality, a good break. Like we play video games, we get consumed in a story, a great story, something that really interests us. It could be anything, music, like you name it. And the movies really did that. Like I'm really captivated by it because of the meaning of it, and TV shows as well. Like I to combine music and storytelling is an amazing gift that humans have done. Yeah, and like some of them I can really think of, like and Star Wars is one of them. I love Star Wars. Like Star Wars is my religion.
What's the first one you saw?
What's start?
What's the first one that you saw?
A New Hope. It was
Wow.
like the very first one at 77, and a lot of people. It's funny. I talked to a lot of my friends about which ones did they watch. It turns out a lot of my friends did because I was born in 1999, so that's when Phantom Menace came out. So that's when the prequel started coming out, and so um and by the time I was like 4 or 5, I watched the movies based on how my parents watch it chronologically. So when they were kids, when they saw 4, then they saw 5 and 6, and then when they grew up 1, 2, 3.
That's
So I was
awesome.
like, okay, that's how I'm gonna watch it. And but a lot of my friends, by the time they're like 5 or 6, they did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And
Mm,
it's kind of weird because it's interesting because of how you see that story. Because like one of the biggest things is the Darth Vader reveal. Because if you watch it too early, if you watch it in like the first movie, it
right.
breaks it breaks that plot twist.
That
Like it
surprise.
you're like it doesn't hit as hard.
That's completely true. That's completely true. It's way better to do it the organic way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's I would say, but that was one of them. Like I get emotional whenever I hear the music. Like when I'm in Disney World, like I feel like I'm 5 years old again. And I think it's a great escape, but it really shows about how the decisions you make in life really affect your future. And when I mean that, it's like Anakin, for example, like and Luke, and a lot of a lot of characters, but Kenobi too. Like I guess I'm just naming Jedi, but I guess maybe like Han Solo. There's just a lot of characters
Yeah,
really
no,
that
there's so
that
many, and there's so many to identify with. It's such a great movie on so many, because it really has a lot of levels to it. There's so many different characters, like Han Solo. A lot of people love him because they really identify with him. They want to be him. It becomes that kind of cool. Oh, Indiana Jones is awesome kind of
yeah
character where you look up to it. Which is the
yeah
same guy I know, but still.
no, and absolutely. And um, going back to the movie theaters, like I love like one of the things I missed in COVID was going to the movies, and there's just I love the going there. I love like the no, like I like that little stuff, like the ambiance. You get the ticket, you go inside, they rip off the ticket, you get the thing, and then you go, you smell the popcorn, you see the movie posters that's coming soon, you see all like the cardboard
Yeah, man.
like
I used to love the
statues and
arcade.
all that stuff, and then
I used to love the little
oh,
arcade,
is it again?
the little arcade area in the movie theater.
Yeah.
They all
No,
got
and
one. I love that little area. I'm always in there really quick before the movie theater before the movie starts. I mean, I love
like
the food as well. The
y-
food is so overpriced, dude, but it's so good.
you know what? I would watch. There's a great video that the Wall Street Journal did about it. Like it really explains about why it's so expensive.
Movie theater food?
Yeah, like how
That's
movie
like that's
theaters
how they
do
make all
it.
their money or whatever. I bet.
Yeah, like movie theaters make their money from those concessions.
You know, here. Okay. So let's talk about this. Do you prefer the traditional movie theater style, or do you like those new movie theaters that have like recliners and plenty of space to sit, and they bring food to you? I love those, dude. Those I'm all about those.
Are you talking about like when I'm watching the movie? Are you talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
in
like
that
in the
moment?
yeah, like in the movie theater, like those new type of theaters that like you can order like a burger and a beer,
Yeah.
and they'll like bring it to you, and it's all quiet, and I love that kind of stuff. Like those are like the new age of movie theaters where it's almost like being at home, but you're out, outside.
Yeah, no, and that's a good point. It's like you're out, but it's like you're not gonna get like comfortable. You're not gonna like you're not gonna like take off your socks and like just start like taking a nap well, maybe some people will do that, but um
Right.
um
Get extra comfy.
no.
It's so funny.
But yeah, but
I don't know why that image was just so funny in my.
no, you're
But
good.
anyway.
But no, I don't know, like there is that cool thing, like you get the stuff and you go and you sit down and then you hand everyone the food and then you watch the movie. But it's so convenient when you can just like watch a movie and order the food beforehand, and like I hate like I when I watch a movie I turn my phone off and like I'm in it, like I don't
What do you
let
think
anything
about the
else go
people that
on.
eat chips at the movie theater? What is that? Is that a no? Is that like? I don't mind it, but I'm just like like it depends on like some people. I don't know, man. Some people are the acoustics of their mouth are very weird. Some people crunch louder than others. I don't understand. It's not the same on
The
everybody. Like
acoustic, the acoustics of their mouth. That is awesome. I'm
yeah,
gonna write that down before I
there's something
forget.
about that. There's some people just crunch super loud. Other people, it's like you barely hear it. I don't understand. I'm like, what are you you breaking it with your tongue? What are you doing?
I don't know. It's like come on, and the worst is when they're on the like. There's one time like my friend and I were watching the movie Ad Astra. It had Brad Pitt in it, and it was like he was like an astronaut, and it was just like really visually compelling, and it's like great. It's just great to watch,
Nice.
and but it's like I'm watching it, and it's like the guys who are next to us are loud as hell. They're on their phone or whatever, and they reeked of weed, and it's
Uh oh.
like so it's just kind of like great,
It, mi-
thanks. And so
it might have been me. I'm so sorry.
so
No,
say again.
I said it might have been me. I'm so sorry. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh damn! I recognized it. No, I'm just kidding.
No. But
Um,
no, but that is annoying. I just don't like when people get distractingly obnoxious.
yeah,
Like it's okay to if I like it's that self awareness. When you know that you're just less than a foot away from somebody next to you, like have some decency, folks. Have some decency. I
and
like
that's the thing.
yeah.
That's the thing about decency, like you said. Like it's just like when you go to a concert. Like I hate when like I'm watching a concert and there's this drunk person like doing this shit. It's like I'm. Can you like sit like just elevate your body to like lower because like I can't see anything, and
You're not
so
invisible. Yeah.
yeah, and so it's like stuff like that, and just I think etiquette too. Like some people hate going to the movies because it's like why am I paying so much money for a ticket for food and to go get concessions or whatever, and that's why like a lot of people like are not going to the theaters because they're like what I'll pay $30 on Disney Plus or something because it's cheaper for my family if I don't go because it maybe be like $100 every time they go for like a family of two or three, and
Yeah, that's
it's
a
just
little
cheaper. Like
crazy.
you can make food at home and just put it on, and like some people don't care. They'll just movies a movie to them, but like
No, I
like
mean
what
if you have a family, they can add up, man. Like that movie theater food is expensive. I'm telling you, you know what I really love is having those hoodies and you just smuggle all the snacks in. That's what it's
yeah.
all about.
Oh, dude,
Smuggle everything in there, folks. Smuggle it all. All right. Get a thing of soda. Get you your chips and candies. Hit the Five and Below or the dollar store because they always have all the candy there, the same exact
yeah.
candy, and it doesn't cost you
And
like $10
I
each.
I recommend if you want to get soda, I always get like these really small bottles of like Cokes or something like that. And what I do is I kind of like am able to put it. You're able to put in your hoodie, but you can also add like a couple things to there. So I always get that. If you want like if you want to get two, for example, you just get both of them, and then it's like one or something like that. So like stuff like that, like it always helps, and like
Smuggle everything, folks. I'd smuggle a burger if I could. I'm telling you. I've seen some people do it too. Some people are ridiculous with it. Some people really bring like their Tupperware and they really get creative.
Yeah, they really they were they thought it was
Some people get creative.
like they thought it was like work or something. They could just start bringing like random food in. Like
Yeah,
I
like
saw
how
one
did you
time
get
someone brought a
pasta?
cooler.
Yeah, like how did you get pasta and breadsticks in here?
Did you know someone? Like,
God.
did you pay them off? Like, did they bring
Yeah, I
the
don't
cooler in?
understand. I don't
Like some
understand.
people go really into it, and you know what? And as long as it
It's
doesn't
fine.
affect my experience, I'm fine with it. Like, just
It's
enjoy
crazy.
it. But like some people really, like someone brought one time, like someone made soup, like clam chowder, and it smelled. It was just so random. Like, why are you?
A seafood soup to the movies, folks. Please, let's not be that exotic, please.
Yeah, oh man,
That's
but
amazing.
um,
Wow, that's creative. That's creative. I think they got a little carried away there. Maybe it was one of those. I don't
yeah.
know who brought that up. That's really funny. That's really funny.
That's Well, let me ask you. So, like, what's your favorite movie theater that you ever went to?
Theater, that's tough. I haven't really been to that many. I've been to the ones in my local area, of course, but locally there is this. I forget if it's called the Movie Co. It's the one that looks like the Egyptian setup,
Oh, Cinemark.
the Cinemark. Yeah, that place was
Dude,
awesome.
that's
I don't remember which movies I've seen there. I believe I saw. I'm pretty sure I saw X-Men. What's the one that has like Archangel at the end of it, like for like 3 seconds?
that X-Men 3 last
It might have been
thing?
that one. I think that was that one. Yeah, yeah, I think it was that one.
Yeah,
The one that nobody liked.
yeah, I started to get. I never liked X-Men for
Yeah.
certain Marvel. I'm starting to get into. Oh, I'm starting
Oh
to
yeah,
get
there you
into
go.
it. I got a full shirt
Yeah,
on
there
right
you
now,
go.
but
I saw that
yeah.
movie there, and I know I've seen many other movies there, but I cannot remember which ones now. I believe I saw The Last Samurai there, probably as a
Sounds.
kid. The
Was
Tom
that
Cruise
with
flick,
who was in that?
the Tom Cruise movie.
Right, it didn't do well, right?
Actually, it
Is
did
that with
it
Dom?
did really well.
Oh, maybe I'm
But
thinking. Oh wait, I'm thinking of a Matt Damon.
oh
Never
yeah.
mind.
The-
I'm sorry.
No. And then what else did I see? Anyway, it was a great theater because yeah, it had this really cool Egyptian theme to it. You walk in and everything seems really nice and grand. The ceiling was very tall.
Yeah.
The concession stand is like right at the front, so you just see it right away. All of a sudden, you see all these snacks and all these, you smell the popcorn right away. The arcade is right in the corner when you want to play those games, and it's fantastic. And left and right, nothing but movies, man. It was a great time, great setup. I loved it. Going to the movies is a really good time. I miss it. I used to go with friends all the time. You know,
Yeah.
such a great time, great time to go on a date. It's one of those.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. Some people, it's not the best place to go on a date because you're really not talking to each other. You're just kind of sitting next to each other, and
Yeah.
I think it's more of a vibe check. You're trying to see if you can take each other's silent company. So it's a very
Well,
interesting. It's a very tra-
and
it-
that's an important. No, that's important. If you like, there's that Pulp Fiction line where it's like, dude, like I like in or when like what's her name? Uma Thurman's character said like something about that, like silence. Like if you can appreciate someone else's silence, then you really like them. I do agree with that. That's a good point. I never thought of that.
Yeah,
Great point, man.
it's fine. Until we had this conversation, I never really thought. Until we had this conversation, I never really thought about that. I never thought about that either. But
Yeah.
excuse the dishes in the background, folks. But there's like a Tom and Jerry episode being filmed right behind me right now. It's hilarious. It sounds crazy right now. But anyway,
I'm sure it was better than the one that came out this year.
going to the movies was such a good time. I know I've seen The Ring. That's the only time you can catch me watching a horror flick is at a movie theater because I would much rather watch it there than watch it at home because to me that's the full experience. I'll actually get a little bit scared, or it's not really scared. It's just when things get really loud and things get really they suddenly
Yeah.
appear on screen. That's the only time it really works because the screen is like humongous right in front of you. There's no avoiding this thing.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And like one of the things that you made a good point about like watching a movie, isn't it weird how like you only are able to watch a movie in the theater for like a short amount of time, but the rest of the time you're gonna watch that specific movie will be in a DVD. Isn't that kind of weird? I know that sometimes theaters like bring up classic ones, but isn't that kind of weird how like I understand why people get home theaters because it's like if I get that point where I have money, I would do that.
Yeah,
Like you get
absolutely.
to view multiple movies at once. That's the thing. Like I don't know. What do you think? Like
Well, I mean, movie
do you like
theaters.
being once in the movie theater? Then like what do you think?
I think the home theater is fantastic. If you have if you have enough space in your house to be able to have a nice 50 to 70-inch TV, you know, and you get yourself a nice sound system for it. You get yourself a nice place to sit. You know, you get that glare all set up so that it's not. So you get the TV set up so there's no glare. You know, because sometimes you have that light bouncing off the TV, which just kills the vibe every time. You know, once you get that thing set up nice and comfortable, watching TV really has its own. I don't know. It's kind of like a car. Like, you know, it's not really comfortable to drive unless you get that seat set up just right, so that you can sit and grab the wheel right and get the pedals right. Having that seating position for a movie, it really makes a difference for me. I really like it.
Yeah.
And every
Yeah,
time I
you
go to
make a
Best
good
Buy
point.
and stuff, I love going to that little home theater section, and I always give it the little walk through, and then I look at the prices and run away.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like yeah, I know. It's like amazing when you're like, oh my god, like so much depth and color. It's like you're like seeing like all these things, and then you're like, oh man, this is like half my check for the entire like year. Well, for me at least. Like it's just like it's like fuck.
I mean, I've never spent more than $300 for a TV. No, bullshit. No, 400, but for a TV. But let's say $300 to $400 for a TV. I haven't, and you know, I like my TV right now. It's pretty nice. It's a 55 inch. It's LG, but it's got the UHD and it's a smart TV. It gives me all the stuff I wanted to do, and it
Cool.
plays. It's nice and great.
No. Yeah. No, that's great.
Unfortunately, I do gotta close the episode up soon, my man. We are about almost at that hour and a half mark already, which
Wow.
unbelievable. You got to be on the show again sometime, man. We got to just chat it up sometime, and you know, you're a lot of fun to podcast with, man. Because I know you're already a part of the Basic Nerd Experience podcast.
That's right, and we'd love for you to come on as well.
Yeah, dude, I would love it, man. That'd be so much fun, and maybe we could chop it up about video games because I don't really know too much about movies, but or maybe I could talk about the movies I do know, and then we can break those down.
Yeah. You know what we should do? Like I would love to do like an episode maybe where like I can do one where I just give you movie like here's what you got to watch.
Oh, that'd be
and
really
here's-
cool. I'd really like that, and then we can like
I
do a
would-
deep dive.
Yeah, like I could do like top 10 or whatever.
You know, it'd be cool.
that
You give me a movie, I'll give you a movie, and then we'll meet back and do an episode. That'd be
yeah,
fun.
no,
That'd be
no,
fun.
that's I'll give you like a
We'll do
I'll
a
give
fist
like
bump
like
on that
a-
one. Boom. Hell yeah. No, we'll definitely do that. Because that sounds like a lot of fun. That'd be a great episode. Well, I've never done that. That'd be a lot of fun. Anyway,
That
man.
and music. would be cool.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be. You know, we should do
Like
that
an
more
album
often.
or something. Yeah.
We should just do that in general. That's fun. That's a fun series, and that's a really fun series altogether. I like
Yeah.
I like what we're brewing up here. This is a witching hour right now. I love it.
It is a witching hour. Yeah.
Anyway, man, Elliot, it's a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for being on the show, and thank you so much for your the journalistic insight onto the Astro World situation, which is just like a really crazy one. I'm glad to be able to cover it with you, and we chopped it up about movies tonight. If you could if you can please tell the people where they can follow you on the social medias, please.
Yes, please. So I am. You can follow Basic Nerd Experience on Instagram and Twitter and all that jazz. You can also find me on Snapchat. I just joined. My name is Shamrock Johnson. That's like I guess like an Irish takeoff name to Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Nice.
But and then I have my Instagram, which is Ginger Bass BASS official. Yeah, that's me.
Awesome, folks. Feel free to please go do follow Elliot. And I don't know. Pretty soon, I do want to. I think I will post a clip from that day that we did that video pretty soon because it came out so cool. I would love to do a little. I'll do a little chop up of some of the clips from that day. So
Yeah,
be on the
you
lookout.
we
for
should
that.
do like a behind the scenes thing, or maybe like talk about like why it was cool. Cause
Yeah, that'd be so
yeah,
fun.
no, that'd be great. It
That'd be
also,
so fun.
you know what sucks is like I keep trying to put it on YouTube, but like that when we did Fire, it's like every time it gets us blocked. So it's like I'm trying
Oh,
to
no,
figure out a
man.
way where like I can have people watching on Instagram and Facebook.
That's
and
a really
then,
tough one. Damn. You know,
yeah.
YouTube ruining it for the even people just trying to do covers, man. Just like people trying to hang out and just make music. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I can't stand it, man.
And I thought, Hendrix hasn't been alive for 50 years, and apparently he doesn't like that I'm copying his music apparently. But Yeah,
Right,
it's
bro.
just it's weird.
He's like,
It's just weird.
Sorry about that, baby.
Stuff.
I just gotta block you. I just gotta block your. No, sorry. That went from Jimi Hendrix to Snaggle plus a little bit at the end. That went a little bit. Exit stage left.
Enter stage right. You're right.
Jimi
Well,
Hendrix stage left. Anyway, man. Alrighty, folks. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight on Shut Up Let's Talk. In the meantime, folks, catch me on the flip side. It's Shut Up Let's Talk all over the internet, the web sphere, the globus, whatever. And love, peace.